Alright, today has been quite the day. I had to replace the fan, cooling fan on the Mustang. It's quite a job, of course, you know, nothing's as easy as it looks. Got that working, the thing's super quiet, Mustang runs great. So, washed it, there's a bunch of pollen on it. It's end of February down here in Florida, and there's pollen already, so I'm not used to that. But, back to the Bronco. I got all the frame here, obviously. And my welding parts, the rear shock mounts, they're gonna go right there. I gotta cut the old ones out and weld these new ones in. And then when I got the truck, it already had at least a 3.5, 4-inch lift on it. But if you look at these, this is where the radius arm mounts into the front axle, and those are all messed up because the radius arms sit at a certain degree of pitch, and with putting the lift on the truck, right here is where the rear of the radius arm, that's them over there, they'd go in through here. One side here on the front axle, and then it gets clamped in with the other side of that radius arm bracket, and there's bushings in there. Well, 1973, they're made out of rubber. Additionally, when the truck was lifted, it puts those radius arms at a awkward angle, so it really stresses the metal in there and the rubber bushing. So what you can do is either get radius arms that are already curved or reuse the stock ones and get these drop brackets here. So I'm going to take this bracket and it's going to weld on like such, and then it'll put that at the right angle. So I'm going to get the old welder ready to go and fire it up. Alright, gotta take a little break, but I got the radius arm brackets at least tacked and some of the sections burned in, but I mean, it looks so cool. It doesn't seem like much, but it's the small victories. Well, after at least an hour of trying to get this shock mount off, I got one more to go. And just as I feared, the metal underneath it was so rusted through that once I got down here to grinding, it was so brittle it just knocked right through. So I guess I'm gonna have to box that up and figure out how I'm gonna work around it. Well, projects really don't go as planned, I guess, on antique vehicles. My first frame patch was the box around this. I figured if I were to put this on here, it would just strengthen all of this. Well, I cut off the shock mounts, and as you can see, not in great shape. So it sat out here like this, well, like this, and a piece came down to here. Once I cut all of that off, found that there was a large hole, probably 1 inch in diameter, right here. So I'm at a crossroads. My thought was, if I can put this metal back together, I can weld it up so that it's strong and it'll be like it's never even there. Now that I got the metal cut, we're going to go ahead and tack these corners in, try and get this re-welded, and move past it. Quite the day for the metallurgist. patch welded in. I had a little bit of burn through, so that was interesting. I had some right here and a tiny bit up here, so I filled this in. I'm going to go through, grind all this down, try and make it match, see how that goes. Looks like I'm doing more fabricating than I had expected. Professional right there. Oh, that's hot. Sam cut it, cut the piece, kept welded, Karina ground it. We're not professionals, but we're no longer amateurs. This is a body mount for the rear on the frame. This side is good. The metal has good thickness. I mean, it has some pitting to it, but I'm not going to worry about that. On this side though, this was what came from the other side. It's very thin on the inner diameter here. So what we're going to do is we cut out this square so that we can replace this metal up top, and then once we get that welded in there, this inner diameter of 1.5 inches will get put on top of here, and we're going to drill that out so it'll be like we just put this same hole back into it. Finished product, not too bad after a little drilling, using some die grinder. Body mount looks good. Last thing we got to do before we get everything loaded and ready for paint, we're going to be putting disc brakes on all 4 wheels. And these are the front knuckles, so in order to accept the front discs and calipers, we're going to have to come in here and shave a significant amount of this knuckle off. So let's get started on that. Now the material is ground down on those knuckles. Hopefully once it is painted, nothing else has to come off of it. that should give enough clearance for the caliper itself. One last minute addition came in the mail today. New shock mounts are in, already on the frame, ready to go. So we're looking to take the whole rig and get it painted tomorrow. Stay tuned. Episode 5, paint.